Okay, so I just wanted to walk you through very quickly how to run two scans that are very powerful every day and using free software. That's the whole key. I'm not looking to give anybody a way to add to their monthly trading expenses. So I'm going to have to manipulate the screen a little bit so that we keep it at a good resolution. Essentially, what we are using here is a software called Finviz.com. It is, and you can see here I'm not logged in. There's no service. You could actually create a free account, and actually I'm not sure if you could see that. Let me pull that over. You can see I'm not logged in. You could create a free account that will basically save your searches. That's really the big thing I want to get across. So if we go to Screener, now we need to work stocks down that meet criteria that I use. You might use different criteria, but I want to give you a foundation. First thing you have to do over here is go to All. So that pulls up all of the screener. We're going to start out with stocks that are, let's use $15 as a minimum number. We actually want to make sure that we're looking at only stocks. Then we're going to go to average true range. And average true range is how much a stock trades from high to low over a designated period. I believe the default in here is 14. That seems to be the default in most softwares. So we're going to use over $1. And that's a little bit light, but it'll give us a decent amount of stocks to look at. And then we're going to look at stocks that have an average daily volume of over 2 million shares. So what I'm looking for is a little bit of volatility, and again, you can go up to $1.50, and we'll show you what the difference in that scan looks like. But I want liquidity, and I want institutional activity on a daily basis, and minimum of $15. So you can see here, hopefully you can see it, that pulled up 150 stocks that met that criteria before I even run a scan. Now, what we're going to take a look at here, this is the key. We want to make a distinction between these two things. Previous change, which is the net change from the previous close, versus change from the open. We are looking for change from the open, not change from the close, because what this is essentially going to tell us is that we had a big green or a big red candle yesterday. That's the key of what we're looking for. So here's what we're going to sort this down. So up 2% from the previous close, and you can see that whittled it all the way down to 5 stocks. Out of everything on Wall Street, that only pulled up 5 stocks that met that criteria. But think about what we're doing. We are looking at stocks that had a really good, solid green day yesterday, looking for follow through today. That's the whole key of what I want to talk about. If you take a look at Tesla from yesterday, you'll see that it had one good day, momentum, not necessarily order flow, and then a good, really good follow through and a good push through there. But what I want to get across here is this. This is only one set of criteria. This is just yesterday. If you want to get a little sexy here and add a little bit more, do positive for the last week, which is the last 5 days in this software, and then positive for the last month. So that's essentially 5 days, and I believe the software runs 22 days. And you can see it took one of those stocks out of the list, but you get the idea. So what you're doing now is you're giving yourself a perfect set of stocks that traded well yesterday, looking for follow-through on a day where the market was lifeless. That's my whole point. You're giving yourself opportunities when the market was lifeless, looking for a stock to get a second-day follow-through. So this is one of the ways to look for stocks that will give you something to do on a day where there's not much to do. That's really the whole point. The other scan that I want to, and actually, obviously, you can sort this in the opposite direction too, where we do it on the short side. And let's look at just the 2% yesterday on the downside. So you can see there down 2%, and that pulled up 12 stocks. So what we could do is sort that down even more. Again, if you want to, down for the week and down for the month. Let me move that one over. And you went from 12 to 8. So you get an idea. Let me actually just pull that one over here again. So you get an idea of yesterday the stock had a lot of selling, meets the minimum liquidity and volatility requirements. Again, if we want to expand that out a little bit to $1.50, get a little bit more volatility in there, which means it could move a little bit more, and that narrowed it down to 5 stocks as well. The other scan I want to give you is this is the name of the website. Again, there's no affiliate deal or anything. I'm just showing you guys how to find some good ideas on what could potentially be a slow day in the market, but there were some really good opportunities yesterday. And what we're looking for is inside days. So essentially what I do is, again, I filter this out by yesterday, obviously. I use, in this case here, I use a minimum of 2.5 million shares per day because this list could just be monstrous, and I want something that at least trades decent, and I go to $20. So you find, and again, this is free. I'm not logged in. You see, I'm not logged in or signed up or anything. And then I sort this by total volume, and I work my way down, and I look stock by stock, and I eventually look to put these stocks in the game plan every day. So if you see the blog post every day and go down to the bottom, this is where I have those two lists every day. So you see 2 times normal volume is another scan, but these are the momentum scans that we have in there every day. And here is the list of what I believed were significant inside days to take advantage of. And let me just take a second and pull up another chart, and I'll show you why these inside scans are pretty powerful. So looking at BMY yesterday, here was an inside day after it collapsed for a while, and you would have thought that it would have needed to catch its breath and go sideways, maybe trade between 58 and 60 for a while. But a beautiful inside day. Got some support there, so you had every reason in the world to believe it's not going to follow through. Collapsed, inside day, support. But you got to keep it in the list, and it was in the list yesterday. And on a day that the market was kind of lifeless, we got a beautiful, beautiful trend yesterday. Basically 58.89, 59.14 down. Let me actually pull that in the screen so you can see it. On the top there, 59.14 to 57.24. So almost a $2 trading range yesterday on a day that the market really didn't have that much to do. So just some good ideas and simple ideas to put in the game plan, and everything I just showed you is free. So watch the video a couple of times, run those scans. You'll be very happy that you did, especially with the way the market's been trading during August. It's been very, very slow, and you really need to have your stock picking ability come to the front, and this is a really easy way to do it, especially with the 2% scans from the open. Add some volume and volatility criteria and run the inside days, and you'll have a pretty good chance every day of having something out of one of those two lists. Hope this helped.